Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Choma Stitches. My name is Choma. Today we are going to be making an off-shoulder flowy dress, and if this is something you are interested in, definitely keep watching and do not forget to subscribe. I want to welcome all the new subscribers who have joined the family lately. You guys are welcome, and for the old subscribers, you guys are my rock. Thank you very much for sticking around with me. And if you are meeting this channel for the first time, I hope you decide to subscribe and join this beautiful family. So to achieve this dress we are going to be making, we need a measurement, your full length, that's from your shoulder all the way to your ankle, or whatever length you want it to be. It can be 3/4, it can also be short, and of course you need the measurement of your off shoulder. This will help you know the measurement of the elastic you're going to be using for your off shoulder, and then you need the measurement of your shoulder to your waistline, okay, the curvy part of your waistline, or wherever you want your gathers or your pleats to start. Okay, so let's get straight into this. I like the color of the fabric we're working with today. You guys know I like bright colors. The full length I'm working with is 57 inches, while the half length I'm working with is 16 inches. And I've already cut out the lower bodice, as you can see, and I folded this into 4. That's what I'm opening like this. That's the front and the back piece. And then the fabric that is left is going to be for the upper bodice. Okay, I'm going to use it to cut out the upper bodice, the sleeve, the pockets that this dress is going to have, and also the belt. That's the rope you're going to be using as your belt to accentuate your waistline when you wear it. Okay, to mark out my chest line, I'm going to mark from the top of the fabric and I'll come down by 5 inches. I'm going to mark that 5 inches. That will be our chest line, where we're going to start imputing our off shoulder. Note that our half length is 16 inches, but I'm adding half an inch that we're going to be using to join the upper bodice to the lower bodice. My off shoulder measurement is 40.5 inches, but I'm not going to be using the exact 40.5 inches because I want it to have some gather, so I'm going to be adding some excess to it to give it a bit of ease. It depends on you and of course the fabric you have and how gathered you want it to be. With my fabric on fold, my off shoulder is supposed to be 10 inches. That's 40 inches divided by 4 will be 10 inches, but I can add like 5 inches to it or 3 inches depending on how much fabric you have and what you want to play around with. From the top of the fabric, I measure 8 inches. That will be the armhole. From the side, I'm going to come in by 2 inches. That's where I'm going to be curving the armhole, and I'll curve it all the way to the 5 inches we marked for the chest line. My bust measurement is 35 inches, divided by 4 is going to be 8.75 inches. Now, like I said, I wanted to have some ease and I'm going to be adding allowance. So adding 2 inches allowance for ease and then 1 inch for the sewing allowance, I will now be having 11.75 inches around the bust area. So around the bust area, I am marking 11.75 inches. I can come down to the waist area and mark the same 11.75 inches, or I can come down and mark 10.5 inches for the waist area. I can now connect the waistline to the bust line, and then from the chest line I'm going to go up by 1.3 inches or 1.5 inches. This will be for the seam allowance where I'm going to be passing the elastic through. I'll go ahead and pin this down, then cut it out and use the front piece to cut out the back piece. Next, I'll be cutting out the sleeve. I'll be cutting both sleeves together. I'm just going to go ahead and fold my fabric the way it will be fitting for me, and I'm going to cut out the sleeve. The sleeve is going to be straight, but it will also have gathers at the shoulder line. Using the upper bodice as a guide, I'm going to use it to cover out the armhole of the sleeve and then cut it out. After which, I'm going to be cutting out the pocket with the fabric that is left. I'm just going to go ahead and fold the fabric and then use my hand as a guide and just go ahead and trace it. The fabric wasn't left with much, so my pocket is going to be quite small. The quantity of fabric I'm using to make this is a total of 2 yards, so it was not enough for me to get out the rope after I was done cutting the pocket and the sleeve. So I'm going to be cutting out the belt, that's the rope from the lower bodice, and because the lower bodice is quite plenty, it will not make too much of a difference. So when you're sewing your own for a size 8 or 10, do well to use more than 2 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the rope. I'm going to go ahead and hem it and turn it inside out, iron it out, and that will be the rope for the dress. I'm going to go ahead and run a loose stitch on both lower bodies for the front and the back, and then we will join it to the upper bodies. So I'm going ahead to run a loose stitch on this waistline. So I'm going to be attaching it to the upper layer. So I'm going to choose one of it since the measurements for both the front and the back are the same. So I'm going to take this like this, get the middle, and I'm going to place the middle here, and I'm going to go ahead and gather it. Pull on one of the threads. As you pull it, you're going to use one of your hands to spread out the gather so that the gather will be evenly distributed all around the waistline. I'm going to go ahead and sew this, and then I'll repeat the same process on the other piece, that's the front piece. So I have joined it at the waistline. This is it. So I've sewn it, and this is the top layer and this is the down layer. You can see the gather effect around the waistline. Okay, and then now what I'm going to be doing is attaching the pockets. So I'm going to measure down like 2 inches from down here, and I'm going to pick one side of the pocket and I'm going to be sewing it on it. I'm going to go ahead and sew it like so, and I'll also sew the other one on the other side like this. So I'm going to measure down like 2 inches depending on how tall you are, so that it will be at a comfortable place just on top of your hips, or yeah, on top of your hips slightly after your waistline. Okay, so I'm going to use like 2 inches and I'm going to sew it. I'm going to sew it here and sew it on the other piece as well. So I've gone ahead to join the pockets. As you can see, I've sewn the pocket. I'm going to iron it to keep it flat, because it's easier to iron it when it's like this than when you are done sewing the dress. See, I've sewn it on this side and on the other piece as well. Next, I'm going to be attaching the sleeve. So I'm going to take one of the sleeve like so, and I'm going to place it here like this. And that is why I cut both armholes together. So I'm going to match it on the armhole, and I'm going to go ahead and join it with 1/2 inch. And I will join the other sleeve on this other side, and I will sew it with 1/2 inch as well. Now after joining it with 1/2 inch, I am going to open it up and place the other part of this on top of it and join the armhole as well. So I've ironed the pockets and I have sewn the armhole, so you can see, join the sleeve on all sides. So now I'm going to be placing them on top of each other. I'm going to go ahead and join it from the sleeve up to the armhole all the way, and when I get to the pocket, I'm just going to go ahead and sew it from here like this. So the pocket come out on this side and sew it all the way through to the hem, and I'll do the same thing on this side. Now when you're done, you can go ahead and hem the edge, hem the down part of the dress. Also, I am going to be hemming the top here. I'm going to be hemming it, folding it twice with 1/2 inch or 0.6 inches, because I added a 1.3 inch at the top after the chest line. Remember that's for the elastic. So I'm going to go ahead and hem it. Now that they are all together, I'm going to hem it, and I'm going to be passing my elastic through. So I have this 0.4 inch elastic. Some people like to call it 1/2 inch, but it's not a complete 1/2 inch. Okay, so now what I like to do is, because this elastic is quite free, it feels like it's not strong enough. I like to double it when I am adding it to a top layer. So I will double it like this, so that when I'm passing it through, I'll pass it through as 2, so that I'll have the effect of it being strong and secured. I'm going to show us when I'm doing that, but first I'm going to go ahead and join the side and hem both the top and the down parts. Okay, and this is it. I have gone ahead to hem the top, as you can see, and I want to pass the elastic, and while I was sewing it, I left an opening where I can pass the elastic through. This is it. And so I am going to be doubling my elastic. Like I said, I've doubled the elastic. So you are going to run your elastic around your off shoulder to know where it's going to be most comfortable for you and also secured. Okay, so I'm going to pass this elastic through. To lock here over and over to tighten it and keep it together, and then I'm going to cover the opening where I passed the elastic through. I'm going to also go ahead and hem the edges of the sleeve and hem the end, and I'm going to style this and show us how it looks. If you try yours, you can show me a picture of yours by posting it on our Facebook group at Creative Tailoring and Styling. Thank you guys for staying to the end of the video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, okay? like this video, and you can also share it to help this community grow. And also don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next tutorial, guys. Bye bye.